Good evening and welcome to the show. Just going to hang out here for just a minute. Thank you for accepting my last minute reschedule. And thank you for joining my live. If you're new to the channel, welcome. And if you are already familiar with the channel, welcome back. If you can hear me in the, if you can hear me in the room, can you just say hello? So just real quick, give me a thumbs up in the chat if you can hear my audio. And I will tell you all that I am noticing my audio is delayed. And so I apologize for that. I think that I'm going to have to start just doing a hard cable in to my router versus Wi-Fi. I think that's going to be my best bet for speed issues, I think. Thank you, Mark. Welcome. Welcome to my live. All right, we're going to give it just one more minute and we are going to get started. I am so excited to bring you all this deal of the day. All right, I'm going to go ahead and get started. Thank you again so much for joining my live today. My name is Dion, And this is my channel, Destinations with Dion, where what I have started doing is what we call a deal of the day. I was missing the past couple of weeks because I was sick. I came down with the illness that has been going around um, for the past couple of weeks, and I was down hard. So I do apologize that I wasn't able to get any deals out to you. But I think that this is one that you are going to love, and I'm hoping that it's one that you'll be able to take advantage of. Again, with my deals of the day, what I do is I scour through different programs that I have available to me as a travel agent, and I look for inexpensive deals to bring to the masses. The idea is that these will sell within 30 days of the day that I'm actually doing the deal. But sometimes there will be deals that I will put out there that you are actually welcome to take advantage of. And if you book the sailing through me and you complete the travel, that's very important. You also have to complete the travel. Then you will receive an Amazon gift card, an e-gift card from me within 60 days after your travel has completed. I'm also doing a gift campaign in honor of my aunt baby who passed away in a domestic violence situation. And so with each booking that I make and that's completed through me, I am going to be giving $5 per booking to a local animal shelter that services the area that she lived in. I'm still, asking for the public's help in finding that 501c3 group that I'm going to be using, but that is something that I am going to be doing. And that's going to be going on throughout my time as a travel agent, not just for this year, but I'm going to be doing that year over year. And that's always going to be presented in the month of October, and it will be to an animal shelter. Hopefully one that services cats, but cats and dogs as well, because unfortunately animals are unwilling victims in domestic violence too. So we're going to make sure that the animals are taken care of. But let's go ahead and get into this deal. So the way that it will work is I will review the deal, and then if you are interested in booking this deal through me, all you'll do is send an email to me, destinationswithdion@gmail.com. And we're going to have a word of the day. You'll put that word of the day in the subject line, and that will let me know which deal you are interested in. I will forward some information to you regarding the deal. And if you're interested, you just reply back to me with your first name, last name, your contact number, your email address. I'll plug you into the system. If there are any other deals that are available to you that are better than what I am able to offer you, I will send you a quote with that. You pay your deposit, or if it's something that's selling within so many days, you'll have to pay the full balance for the trip. But I'll send you that link. You make that payment. Now for me, I do request that you be travel savvy. Because I'm looking for these deals and I'm finding these deals. However, I am a one-person operation, so I'm not necessarily able to provide the one-on-one attention that the larger groups can provide to you. But my goal is to really try to find you the best deal that's available. All right. So for this deal, it is on Princess. It's Princess Cruise Lines, and this is a transatlantic cruise. Now, I'm not sure if if you're familiar with transatlantic or trans-Pacific, or what they call repositioning cruises. But typically, that's where a cruise line will send a ship from one location to another. It could be that sailing for a particular season is down in an area and this ship could better serve them in a different area. Or it could be that they're just being rehomed to a new port. And so the ships typically don't sail at 100% capacity, and they are typically sailings that are 10 days or longer. Now, the good thing about the actual time frame itself being 10 days or longer is the fact that you can literally kind of get on the boat and just take your time exploring it, take your time and just, relax, visiting different venues, and also with your ports, because sometimes they are port heavy. Like this particular one, you'll have 4 port stops, but a lot of times they're more filled, heavier filled with sea days. So that's where you're not stopping at a port at all, and you're just on having sea days for several days at a time. It can be 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 days of being at sea, straight at sea. So it's definitely one of those cruises where when you are able to get off in a port, you definitely want to take advantage of it. But also having that time, it the number of days, and then when you're also looking at the pricing, when you're getting as low as we're looking at it today, you're going for less than $100 per person per day, and you just cannot beat that with a stick. The one thing that I like about Princess, I think that overall, their value is great. I like the sleep quality of their beds. I love their food, from the buffets to room service to the cafes to the main dining. Um, we did a transatlantic cruise, and I posted a link to the playlist so that you all can go through and take a look at the ship. We were actually on Emerald Princess, and I had we had an obstructed um, ocean view room. And so our obstruction was a lifeboat. But again, you can go and you can take a look at the playlist. I have a room review, a tour of the cabin, and then of course, several different stops along the way. And our itinerary pretty much mirrored this one, except for it was basically 2 and 2. This one has 4 stops. We had 4 stops as well. 2 stops were the same. 2 stops were different. But for this particular sailing, it is on the Sky Princess. You're going to have 10 sea days and 4 port days, a total of 15 days. And you are actually sailing on this, for this voyage, you're actually sailing out of Southampton, England, which the closest major city would be London. It's about a little over 2 hour ride or drive there. We actually did a transfer through Princess, where my purpose for this particular trip in October of last year was for a concert to see Simply Red and Soul to Soul. And it just so happened that that concert was taking place in London on October the 10th. And then there was a transatlantic sailing on Princess, on the Emerald Princess, that took us from Southampton, England, to Fort Lauderdale. That was the end destination, was Fort Lauderdale. And so for that one, I purposely stayed near the airport, because Princess did offer a transfer to get you to Southampton. So I felt like that would be the best thing. And also having access to transportation, like the train and things like that to get to downtown for the concert. It just made more sense to make to make the airport, London Heathrow, my hub station. And so I stayed, um, you know, close to the airport, Thistle London, Terminal 5 hotel. And it was really convenient because they actually have a pod that takes you, it's like a train pod that takes you from London Heathrow to the parking lot where you can get to several different hotels. And so it was a nice hotel. They have it was full service, right? They had a restaurant, maintenance and staff on site. Um, the room was clean. It was a good size, and it is a hotel, airport hotel. Very, very convenient. Very short trip. Maybe like a 10-minute pod ride to get to the airport, and then it was very easy to get back, so that we could take the transfer from the airport to Southampton. Beautiful scenery, very nice drive. And so our stops, we went from Southampton to France. For this one, you're actually going to Portland, London. But one of the things that you can get to from there is Stonehenge, so that you can see Stonehenge. So you'd be able to do that at Portland. And then you have Vigo, Spain, and Madeira, Portugal would be your third stop. And then you have Canary Islands as your fourth stop. And then you arrive in Port Canaveral. This actually sails on November 5th. And it's the second part of a two-part sailing, that is actually, the first part is departing on, I think it's October the 24th or the 26th. It departs, and you're going to like Norway and Belgium, and just all these really cool places. And then you end back up at Southampton, and then you end back up at Port Canaveral. So the Sky Princess is being rehomed to Port Canaveral. I don't know for how long, but it's being rehomed to Port Canaveral. So now for this, an interior cabin per person, and this is for two people, $977 per person, and that is for an interior cabin. If you are interested in an ocean view, you can get an ocean view. It's $17.84 per person. And then if you want a balcony, which is very rare, I do see it with Princess a lot, but it's rare that you see it as a whole. A balcony will cost you $15.09. Now it's a guaranteed balcony, which means they can put you anywhere, and you could have an obstruction, right? It could be a lifeboat, it could be balcony railings, it could be the side of the ship. So it could definitely be an obstructed view, but a balcony room would cost you $1,509. Now I will tell you that for our cruise, we sailed October the 11th through the 26th of 2025. We missed a storm that basically came in right behind us, to the point we were so close to the storm that people who were sailing coming into the same ports that we had been to, they missed those ports. So everybody was safe, of course. Nobody was harmed during the making of these voyages. But weather is definitely something that you have to contend with, and especially in the October, November timeframe, because that is heavy for hurricanes and tropical storms. But I'm telling you, missing a port is not like the end of the world. I mean, I get it. When you book your vacation and you go on your vacation, you want it to just be perfect, right? But I travel a lot during that time of year, especially on cruises, and I've only had issues. I think maybe twice where we've had to miss ports. Um, and I really do think that, for the safety of the crew and passengers alike, sometimes it has to be done, and you kind of just have to roll with the punches. But as long as the cruise company can tell us, explain it to us, justify it, then I think that it's just something that, it just happens, and you just kind of just have to just roll with the punches when it does. But um, other than that, staying safe, um, hanging out, being on just the transatlantic cruise itself was an amazing experience. It was the longest cruise that I had ever been on, and it was the first cruise where I, was leaving from an international port. One thing to note on this is that you will need they have an ETA visa, that you have to get. I did get it when I signed up for my flight. I did, sign up for that. There are free ways that you can sign up for it, but I think I paid it might have been $25 just to go ahead and go through a system that I trusted, and I got it back. I got my approval back within a couple of days. The boyfriend, when he did his, it was the same. It was, just a couple of days. And he got his back. So it's not a hard, difficult process, but it's definitely something that you'll want to check into. And you may not be required to have it anymore, but I think it's good for 2 years once you sign up for it. So, but this is definitely a cruise that I would encourage people to take. If it's I think it's would be great even for a first time, not for a first time cruiser. I would not say for a first time cruiser, because when you're dealing with cruising anyway, you got to make sure that you have all your documentation, right? You have to make sure that you have your passport. You have to make sure that your passport is still good for at least 6 months, for, just in case you do encounter an issue. I would definitely say get traveler's insurance. Um, when you're visiting international countries, you definitely want to make sure that you're the type of person who, likes obeying laws. Yeah, you'll definitely want to obey laws, because they really believe in laws, in other countries. So don't go over there showing out. But one of the great things that I enjoyed about London, was the fact that the people were just so amazing. Um, the people were amazing. The transportation, let me tell you something about their transportation. They are not playing. If they say to you, this train is leaving at 3:02 p.m., I need for you to understand that they mean 3:02. Like in the time that's on the clock, not the time that you might think it is, not the time that you were hoping that it is, or just thinking, well, maybe they'll just wait. They will not wait for you. They will leave you. They will leave you. Unfortunately, we got left by our bus. It was not their fault. It was my fault. It was 100% my fault. I saw the group of buses when we docked at the terminal. I could see the buses, and I thought it was the actual bus terminal that we were leaving from, and I was incorrect. This was when we went to France. So we docked in Le Havre, France, and we had $14 bus tickets to get us to Paris, where we also had tickets to see the Eiffel Tower and everything. And yeah, I was wrong. That was not our bus terminal. We got left by our bus. Thank goodness the boyfriend was able to get us an Uber, and we had a couple of other passengers, some people from the ship that we ran into who were also looking to get to Paris. And so we, did a ride share in the Uber. It was a wonderful drive. I'm quite sure it would have been great from the bus as well. I'm not mad at the bus. It was not their fault. But I'm quite sure it would have been, as enjoyable. But the scenery is beautiful. Well, it's very beautiful. The scenery was extremely beautiful. Going on the bus and on the train back, because we did make our train. So, and we made the ship as well. So, but yes, you definitely want to make sure that you're on time. And then you got to think about the currency exchange, because that can definitely impact your budget. So, definitely be mindful of that. And then, just always just making sure that you're mindful of your surroundings. They talk about pickpocketers and things like that, but you just really have to be just really aware of your surroundings, and try not to do anything that is going to draw attention to you, but also try not to carry expensive things with you and things like that. Just leave that stuff at home. No need allowing that stuff to get stolen in a foreign country, you know, because you wanted good Instagram pics. But let's see, in Vigo, Vigo is a great city for walking. Now, you really definitely want to be in some sort of shape if you're going to walk in Vigo. But there's streets and everything, there's signage. It's great, but it's a lot of hills. Well, it's a lot of slants. So you're just doing a lot of inclines when you're going places. Of course, on the way down, you're great, but just walking up to get to different sites and places, it's grueling. It was definitely grueling. It was nice. The scenery was nice. The historical sites that we visited were great. We could see our ship from where we were. But it was an amazing trip. Again, you're going to get 10 sea days. And that's going to allow you to just really be able to relax and kind of just immerse yourself in everything that the ship has to offer in your own pace, where you're not having to try to get through things in 3 or 4 days or 5 or 7 days. But then you've got the 4 ports where, you're going to find some amazing things to do. And so I would definitely say, if this is a trip that you are interested in taking, go ahead and send me that email. And our word of the day is taxi. I am thinking of the little London taxis. They are so cute. They're very, very quiet vehicles as well, which, you wouldn't think that they would be because of how they look. But yes, our word of the day is taxi. So send me an email to destinationswithdion@gmail.com with the word of the day, taxi. I will send you some information, and I will go ahead and get you booked on this cruise. And again, that's on November 4th. I can also assist with flight arrangements, hotel arrangements, your transfer from London Heathrow Airport to Southampton. I would definitely say fly in a couple of days before, because I've still got so much more information to go over with you all regarding our transatlantic cruise and some of the things that we dealt with. But I am going to do that in an upcoming video, so I will definitely do that. Don't forget to subscribe, sign up for alerts, share, comment. I really want to do this and kind of help bring travel to the masses and bring budget traveling to the masses. Um, so if you have any trips, anything that you'd like for me to take a look at for you and just see if maybe I can beat the price on something, give me a try. Destinationswithdion@gmail.com. Um, well, it is now 7 o'clock, so that is my time for today. I want to thank everyone so much for joining, and thank you so much for the last minute reschedule. And I hope to see you all next Wednesday. And don't forget, when fun is the destination, the possibilities are endless. Have a good night. We'll see you all later.